Hi, my name is Jessica Mernon, and today I will be talking about Pennsylvania because even though that's not where I live now, I wasn't able to find any streets that I liked and or like that worked in Calvert County, Maryland. So I decided to pick out some of my favorite places and some memories that I've had in Pennsylvania because this is where I was born and this is where a lot of my family lives. So the first place I'm going to talk about is Bugaboo Creek Steakhouse, and that's in Warminster, Pennsylvania. And something you should know about this town is that there are two like big malls in this area. And so I live 15 minutes away from two malls here. And so when my family moved to Calvert County, Maryland, there the closest mall that we had was 45 minutes away, so my mom had to go through withdrawals. So yeah. So that's just an interesting little fact. And the other mall that's here is King of Prussia, which is like the second biggest mall in America. So that made it all the worse. Okay, Bugaboo Creek Steakhouse is located at the Franklin Mills Mall, which is close. I wasn't able to get a street view, but here is the little advertisement that Google has for it. What I remember about Bugaboo is less about the food and more about the atmosphere. I just remember that when I was a kid, there was a singing Christmas tree that was there around the holidays, and that there was a singing moose and a singing buffalo up on the wall. All fake, of course, but as a kid, it was really exciting. And I like whenever I see a Bugaboo's, even though I haven't eaten there in like 5 years, I get really excited because it's like a little blast from the past. So yeah, Forest City, Pennsylvania. And let me find it. Um, Forest City is up in northern Pennsylvania. It's located by Scranton, which many of you know is where The Office takes place. And something interesting about it is that uh, like the Office like brings in a lot of elements of actual places and actual things. So yeah. And like the radio station that Dwight listens to in The Office is actually a real radio station up here, which I think is really interesting and I think was done really well by the creators of The Office. Um, Something about up here is Zaria's is up here, and I'm trying to get to that now. And something else about this, it's a really mountainous area because this is where a lot of coal miners went. It's a coal miners town. That's why all the houses are so close together, and in such a in such a way. Um, yeah. So, yep. There's a lot of hills, like I said, and like when I was little, we used to go blueberry picking, and whenever we gather all these blueberries and bring them back, and my grandma Mernon would make us blueberry pie and blueberry muffins and blueberry pudding, and it was all so delicious. My grandma is like an amazing cook. And another thing about up here is we used to go fossil hunting, and it's where like you go like in the mountain like find these like a certain type of rock, and then you get like a screwdriver and like a hammer, and like you separate the rock and see look inside and see if there's any fossils inside. So yeah, like we used to go around and do that, and the coolest one we've ever found was a fossilized nut. And even though like usually when I think of fossil I just think of like the imprint, but this was the actual nut, which I thought was really cool, and I still think's really cool. So yeah. Um, so yeah, just this is a really nice little area, and I was just going up during the fall and looking at it just because there's so many hills and like there's so many trees. It's just the colors are just amazing. But yeah, it's a really close-knit little community, and it's one where like everyone knows the other people's names. And even if you don't know that exact person, you know their family and you know their history. It's really interesting. Um, the next place I'm going to take you is down in York, Pennsylvania, or Lancaster. Um, this is where my other grandma lives. And Browns orchard is like a little grocery store, but it's also like an orchard. They grow their own food and they like it's just a really like homey place, and people like come from Maryland to get the food. It is on the Maryland border, but like even like people like a hat see at Browns, even though it's like like oh it can be a distance, people still come to Browns because it's like one of the few like small businesses that like are actually succeeding, and so it's just a really nice little experience. And like my grandma always, whenever we're coming up to visit her, she always goes like, "Okay, I'm going to Browns. What do you want me to get at Browns?" And like she'll get like stuff off the like day old rack like for the baked goods and stuff. And they sell whoopie pies here, and like whoopie pies is like an Amish thing, and it's where like two chocolate cookies with like a frosting type thing in the middle, and it's absolutely delicious. If you ever can have one, definitely get it. But this is a very rural area, but it's actually closer to malls than my house in Southern Maryland. So yeah, the next place I'm going to show you is um, a place called Williams Grove Amusement Park. It's like a half an hour away from York, Pennsylvania. The thing about it is it used to be an old amusement park, but currently it is being used as a flea market. And my family is really big on into antiquing, so like on Sunday mornings, mom and dad find it a good idea to go rummaging around in the dark for some antiques. And so like they find some really cool things, and I enjoy going too because I collect antique yearbooks and antique jewelry and stuff. But sometimes the 4 a.m. is a little early for me. So yeah. Um but like I really like this one because it still has remnants of the old amusement park, and so as you're walking through you actually see like the different things, like you can see the like old water ride, and like you can see the old like roller coasters and like merry-go-rounds and things like that. And that really it makes it more interesting. And plus here they have the best kettle corn. Yeah, definitely. If you ever find yourself going here, definitely get the kettle corn. It's on the second level, and I love it. It's the best. The last place I'm going to show you is probably the one you're most familiar with, Hershey Park. This is an amusement park that is really big, and like a lot of times, like my family, like extended family from California, like will come in and we'll have like a family reunion type thing here at Hershey Park. And it's just a really fun environment, and it smells like chocolate, so how can you go wrong? And so it's just like a good place to kind of catch up with everyone and have fun and relax. And also for my senior trip, we came here to Hershey Park, and me and my friend Janet, oh, like just so you know, it was pouring down rain. Me and my friend Janet went on like the big water ride, and like it's like the Pompeii ride at Busch Gardens. I don't know what it's called otherwise. Um, But we decided that even though it was pouring down rain, it would be a good idea to get on the water ride and ride it not only once, which was stupid, but twice. And like afterwards, we were like, this was so stupid. Why in the world did we do it? But those memories where you're like, why in the world did I do it? But you leave having a story, those are the memories that are the best. So yeah, I wanted to get zoomed in because so you can get a better look. Um, yeah, I don't really like this new edition of the water park per se, just because I've never been much of for the water parks and amusement parks, but it's a interesting like it adds something, but I don't necessarily think it's good. But my favorite ride here is the Super Duper Looper, which it's an old like it's one of the first, I think it is the first loop roller coaster, and it's a lot of fun. And so, yeah, hopefully the image will come up. But yeah, so this is Hershey Park. This is the water park area. And yeah, So Pennsylvania, I really love Pennsylvania. I love Philadelphia, getting to see the Liberty Bell and everything else. Another thing that I wanted to show, but I didn't get a chance to show you, was Kennywood. That's an amusement park over by Pittsburgh, and I love it there because I like it even better than Hershey Park because it has like a bunch of old rides and like no one's there, so there's like no lines, and the roller coasters are like the nice old ones and not the new ones that I think can be overdone at times. So yeah, I would suggest going to Kennywood because like we stopped there on our way to Cedar Point, which is the roller coaster capital of the world, and I ended up having a better time at Kennywood than I did at Cedar Point. So yeah, that's it. Um, I hope you like this. I've been having issues with Google Maps, so hopefully this will be good enough. Thank you.